All right, guys. Good morning. It's the never stopping reloader. Me. Thank you. At your service. So I told you what I tell you last night. I told you I love to work out in the morning. Work out. Reload in the mornings, and so here I am. Oh, and I love to work out after I get done reloading. Do some church. So I want to work out. So good morning to all. So it's a new day. So some questions you have to ask yourself. So when you woke up today, did you give the good Lord a huge, huge praise for your breath of air? And did you tell the Lord that you wanted to work for Him today? And did you tell the Lord that you're just so thankful for that gift of salvation? Nothing else matters. It's that gift of salvation. Everything else is frosting on the cake, baby. That's all it is, So anyway, what are you going to do today? Where's your mindset, right? Are you going to power through whatever comes your way? Or are you going to let a 10-minute bad experience change your whole day? The outlook of your whole day? No. And see, that's the difference between a true winner and a loser. If you have a bad 10-minute experience, right, and you let it get you down, you already lost. You already lost. Everything's about the mindset that you keep throughout your day, and we're all human, and it takes practice, but you get stronger and stronger, and you persevere through these things that make your day negative, right? So, what did Jesus say when he said? What did he mean when he said, "If you don't learn to forgive others, I will turn you over to the tormentors"? You ever thought who the tormentors are? Who are the tormentors? The tormentors are the demons, the ones we can't see. Okay? And tormentors, they don't have a body, but they desire a body. How does Jesus turn us over to tormentors? He simply removes his hands. When we don't forgive others, then what happens is demons can enter us. There's demons of negativity. So there you go. Your first one. A demon doesn't make your day negative. He looks for an opportunity to make the whole thing negative. So when that 10 minutes comes along, suddenly your day's getting messed up. I stop and I give it to Jesus. And I say, Jesus, look, I'm being messed with, and this is bigger than I can deal with. And I've got things to do for you. Would you take care of what's on my back? Demon gone. Day better, right? Demons, alcoholism, immorality, depression, anger, anxieties, right? So when you are struggling with these issues, it's another physical person. No. It's another person in you that's taken over your physical. And you have to get it out. That's the problem with this world. That's all the medications and the counselors in the world is not going to fix these screwy things going on. It's the blood of Jesus, and that's all. And I'm telling you, because it works for me. I don't go to counselors. I'm not on all this crazy medication, and I don't go around doing mean things to people, right? I do nice things for people. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the reason I struck this up, so I got up and I looked at my phone, and there was a live stream scheduled. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I didn't schedule a live stream. And then I looked, and it was for 4:09 yesterday. I was like, 4:09 yesterday? What the heck? So I went in and I looked and re-edited it and rescheduled it for today. Here we are. Okay. So I thought, well, okay, let's do a live stream. because I can go over some things that I didn't go over yesterday. That this might help some of you, because this has been a challenge for me. The one thing, if you know about me, if you followed me over time, I'm not really big on my notes, my record keeping. I never have been. I'll be honest with you. As soon as it comes to recording notes, I'm out. I'm like, I don't want to sit there and record everything. But what I've learned is through technology, it's actually pretty convenient and fun. Okay. So I'm going to show you first off, just give you an idea of my note keeping, and we'll start there. But first off, I think we got to do roll call. We got Jay Miller. We got Dirty Truck. I like that dog. AR Patriot Nation. Andre D'Angelo. Jay, okay, Tactical Fud. Cold Front 79. Okay, you guys, we got 10 of you on. That's really good. So my coffee today is a dark roast Costa Rican. That's what I'm drinking. Yeah. If you guys were here, I would give you some. And I like creamer in it sometimes. I like it. Only creamer I really like is Italian sweet cream. I like that. I think that's a great creamer. So, but I do like creamer at times. But I really like my black coffee. So, who else just came on? Okay, I'll be watching. So, I don't know how many of you are familiar with like Google Sheets. Okay. One of my struggles last night is, see, I printed all this off in color, but because some of the colors don't contrast against the color it's with, I couldn't really read it. Like the black text doesn't work in the green background. I can see the black text in the pink background, and I like pink. I love pink, you know. Pink's just, oh, yeah. Purple, you know. Purple's royalty. Pink's, oh, you know. Anyway, and then there's hot pink, you know. You like that? Hot pink. I would like hot pink on this. I think that would look really good. So anyway, I couldn't really, with clarity, read unless I got real close. So that's one danger thing. I have to find colors on everything that's going to mix and match, okay? So I'm just going to show you this. This is kind of my spreadsheet, and this is the beginning of all my note taking. And there were some other notes I had, and I wasn't productive in the field, so I didn't disregard, right? Now I'm tracking. I'm tracking pretty good. So my rifle is my Bergara Premier Ridgeback. Excellent rifle. I'm going to tell you guys this. I'm just looking at someone here, trying to see who this poor guy is. And well, hang on. Anito. Hey, Big Bo. Big Bo 133. It's good to see you, brother. I want to talk about the recoil for the 300 PRC coming off of my Bergara. I say Bergara. I don't know. My Bergara Premier Ridgeback. They discontinued this rifle. They have some awesome rifles. I go to their website and I'm just like, I can't believe it. There's really nice rifles. Go check them out. But the recoil coming off of this rifle, to me, I can shoot it all day. When you hear someone say, oh, that recoil on that 300 PRC, I would not play into that real heavy. I'm going to tell you what that's like. I was in the middle of a conversation where someone said, "Oh, boy, I tell you what, you don't want to shoot that 303 British in a wheelchair. It's going to knock you over under the ground, wheelchair and all." No, it won't. No 303 British will never do that. People, and that person had never shot a rifle in their life. The person that said a 303 British will knock a person in a wheelchair over in their back had never shot a rifle. It is so wrong. A 303 British has the amount of recoil as a 30. It's small. It's in the same neighborhood as a 30-30 as far as recoil, in my opinion. It's only been about 40 years since I shot one, but I was a young strapping lad. It's no problem. I ate it up. Okay. The 300 PRC, in my opinion, is not much worse than my 30-06. And when I pulled the trigger 2 times on my moose with my 30-06, the deer I've shot with my 30-06, I don't even remember the recoil. Okay? Recoil's a funny thing. Did you know that genetics plays into the ability to handle recoil? Mm-hmm. But did you also know more of this? If you want it, you'll deal with it. Look at people, women with smaller hands operating a big 44 caliber revolver, right? Okay. Then you look at some big guy that pulls the trigger and he goes, "Oh, that recoil's horrible," right? Get your mind into your game. The 300 PRC, in my opinion, is not much worse than my 30-06, and I went out. Took me about 3 hours, maybe 3.5, to shoot 40 rounds because I was clocking them. I was letting the barrel cool. After those 40, actually it was 45 rounds. I shot 45 rounds in almost 4 hours. That's 3.5 to 4 hours. What I'd do is I'd shoot a round through my rifle. I'd go slam the steel targets with my pistol. Come back to my rifle, get all settled down, let my heart rate drop. One more downrange with my PRC. After all those rounds, the next day, I didn't even feel my shoulder. No pain. Didn't even know I'd shot a rifle, okay? If that gives you an idea, okay? If you're thinking of a 300 PRC and someone says you might not want to get that because of the recoil, you might want to check out Bergara, however you pronounce it, okay? You might want to check out what's out there. Look at the different stocks. I know this Ridgeback by them, they've got set up right. The recoil is no issue because of the way the pad is. The entire chassis setup is very comfortable, okay? So the 300 PRC is a 30 caliber bullet. This is a same bullet caliber diameter that, you know, shooting in my 30-06, okay? I mentioned something last night, and this is not for the reloaders that don't care. This is for a more technical-minded individual, a reloader that is after really using vocabulary. If you say to somebody, "What caliber are you shooting?" If you see them at the range, "Hey, what caliber is that rifle?" That's kind of the wrong question. He could tell you that's a 30 caliber, but he didn't tell you about the cartridge. There's a difference between caliber and cartridge, okay? My favorite caliber for a bullet is 30 or 30 caliber, okay? I shoot a 30-06 cartridge, which utilizes a 30 caliber bullet. So caliber and cartridge are two different things that we're talking about. Okay. I noticed that the more social media goes on, the more that's used loosely. It used to be you went in a gun shop, you either taught cartridge or caliber. Everyone was kind of on the same page. Now everyone's just walking around caliber. What? Oh, you mean you're looking for a 30 caliber bullet? Right? Oh no. What bullet are you shooting in that? What do you mean? What bullet? 30 caliber? No. Oh, you mean what cartridge? Oh, okay. Then we figure out this is what this guy wants, right? So now what I'm doing is I'm tracking everything by first loads. As an example, all these have been fired once, and I have all my data. So what I did was, now on all my load data, I'm running through my quick loads and a little bit of internet research. Okay, so quick loads is Andre D'Angelo. I can see your name. It's good to see you, my friend. So quick loads is a computer program where I can put in certain key information, starting from bullet manufacturer to a particular bullet from that manufacturer. I can select cartridge. Now there's ones for you. On my quick loads, I have to select the specific bullet, which gives me the caliber and the cartridge. See, a 30 caliber bullet can be used through many different cartridges, right? So on my quick loads, I can put in basically the bullet I want, my case capacity, the powder I'm running, and the amount of charge weight on the powder I'm running. And it will give me a certain velocity and pressure. It will tell me what it is. But it's a guess, but it's not a guess. Numbers never lie, and they're running off of numbers. But my chamber and temperature and elevation is different than other places. So it's kind of a recipe where if I'm going to only run off of that, I'm going to start low and work up looking for signs of pressure and staying and incrementing up on this load data. But on my quick loads program, and I would highly recommend quick loads to any reloader. On my quick loads program, I always try and match that with some other valid published data. That's what I try to do. So that's how I came up with what I'm running. So now what I did is I ran, what I wanted was, I had a choice. Do I want to go off 5-shot groups for accuracy, or because I don't have a lot of primers, do I want to run off of a node system? Okay. I'm going to explain to you what a node system is in just a second. You'll see it. And as I progress further into this with the 300 PRC, I'll talk more about the node system and how I'm using it, because it's all still new to me. But I know about it. It's just that I've never really polished it to this extent. So, in my opinion, a 5-shot group, if money wasn't an option and burning a barrel out wasn't an option, a 5-shot group would be just spectacular. I mean, come on, the tighter the group, the more accurate the load. It tells you everything. That in a chronograph, and you're set, okay? But because of, the conditions of being able to get components, I was lacking primers. I didn't have enough primers to run the full gamut from my min charge to my max charge of 5-shot groups. I would only get a third of the way through. This meant what I want to do is look for a node. So what I did is I started at my min velocity at 83.4, my max at 86.2, okay? And I incremented 0.2 of a grain all the way from min to max. And what I did, being a smart feller, is I did 2 of each in case my chronograph messed up. Well, believe it or not, my first chronograph, my orange one, totally failed me. It just kept blipping out on me. It was driving me nuts, okay? Because the muzzle blast coming off the PRC would move it enough that the radar wouldn't stay on it. And it was very frustrating. So I was able to get all of my velocities because I had a backup of every one of them. But I wasn't really happy with them. Next time I went out with my old Bastion radar, and the wind was notorious, almost knocking it over. At one point, I almost pulled the trigger and it started leaning, and I just shot it, and it settled down, and I squeezed the trigger. And when it settled down and I squeezed the trigger, it just, it didn't record it. It wasn't happy. So I had all these issues like that. But with using my old chronograph, I got what I needed, okay? So now I'm going to talk to you about the node. I would have thought that from an 83.4 to an 86.2, I would have seen 2 nodes, but I only saw 1. There could have been 2 because of the sloppy chronograph work, okay? But this is what the node is, and now I'm going to explain this to you. I went 83.4, 83.6, 83.8, 84, 84.2. Now listen to this. Listen. My first velocity was 25.64. My second was 25.80. My third was 25.79. My fourth, now listen, 26.23.9, and my next one was 26.23.9. 84 and 84.2 had the exact same velocities. See that? You're going up, and then all of a sudden, the 2 velocities kind of level out for the same charge. But then after that, they start going back up. 26.39, 26.44, 20, and it didn't node out anymore. There was really no significant node. So this tells me that at about 84 grains, I should have a node. So now what I'm doing is I got this new chronograph. This is my new Garmin. Okay. This is the Garmin Zero chronograph. So yesterday, I got up, pulled it out of the, well, I got up and I got this cup of coffee. And I got it the night before and I plugged it in and I just set it in the box to charge, just left it all right there. So I got up yesterday morning and I got this cup of coffee and I picked this up, and it was still kind of dark outside, and I looked at it, and I'm going to tell you guys, this is what happened. I turned it on and I see, I select English, and then I see that I can select a pellet gun. Okay, now I saw that in the ads. I thought, okay, I'm going to select the pellet gun off this. So I selected the pellet gun. I don't remember what else it asked me. It wasn't much else. The only thing it said is, or I guess that was the instructions, to have the chronograph, if here's the muzzle, have it between 5 and 15 inches, okay? And you got to have 20 feet from the or 20 yards from the chronograph to the target, okay? So me being a smart feller, I said, well, with less muzzle energy, or I can be closer, more energy further back. When I'm shooting my 200 PRC, I don't want this little jewel anywhere near the muzzle. I'm going to bring it to the maximum that I can bring it, so it's protected. But being a pellet gun, I got it like within 5 to 7 inches. And honestly, I didn't even measure it. All I did is I put this up, put a pellet in, pumped it 3 times, put the barrel on there, bang. All of a sudden it says analyzing shot, and it gives me a velocity readout of 409.3 feet per second. So I take the pellet gun, chamber another pellet, pump it up 10 times, and I fired it. And I wasn't trying to light it up perfect. I literally, all I did was found an average place to hold, drop my sight where I wanted, pull the trigger. That's all I did. I didn't try and be careful and look at muzzle placement. I didn't. I wanted to see if this was going to do the job. Get it, sight alignment, squeeze trigger, and this gives me 602.6 feet per second. It gives me my extreme spread and my standard deviation. All right. So based off this now, what I want to do, I want to do exactly what I did when I went out with chronographing the last time, and I want to see what these numbers are. I want to see if that's a true node, and I want to see if I can catch another node with this. So I'm pretty excited. So that's where I'm going. And the reason I'm saying this is I know I'm going to get a lot of guys asking me, how did you do this? How did you do that? So I could just refer them back to a lot of guys. I get to talk with a lot of guys, and they want to know a lot of detail, and I can't always talk to guys on the phone for 15 minutes at a time here and 15 there. So I can say, okay, here's the video, watch that, and it will, you'll see my process. So I'm not trying to bore anybody. Unfortunately, what I'm talking about now, eyeballs tend to roll back in heads. This isn't like getting to watch, seat the bullet. This is the class time talking about, we're getting down to a little bit of the technical brass tacks, okay? So now what I'm doing is, so last night, I did something bad last night. Last night, at a point in the time there, I said, oh, I've got the wrong powder. I really didn't. I was just doing that to catch the attention of the viewers. What I did is I said, oh, I got the wrong powder. Oh, no, and then I held it up. I said, no, guys, I really have the wrong powder. But I told them, listen to me, make sure you always have the right powder before you go working with your powder. So I apologize if I confused anyone. I was just trying to make a good example of it. So now, and I made another mistake last night. On my, when I chamfer and deburr my cases, I use this, I guess it was yesterday morning. I use this chamfer and deburring tool. This is the PPT tool by Little Crow Gunworks. And I said I chamfered the mouths of my cases 6 times, 6 revolutions. I did it 8. Now, I'm going to tell you guys this. How did I know that? I'm keeping track of everything on this. Okay, so you guys will hear me say, you'll hear me say, when you're reloading, you want to do things in an order that you know exactly how you did it to repeat what you did. Well, in a bit of a way, I'm a hypocrite because I'm really bad with keeping notes. But to be very honest with you, that comes with being more precision-minded. I don't have to keep a whole lot of notes for my handgun loads. I just need the recipe. And I can record that, or I can mark that in a book. Great, great. I have my pet loads for my, you know, my moose load, moose and elk, you know. I have pet loads for a muley deer. When you're thinking of the application of hunting, it's not real precision. Hunting isn't, you know, some guys think it's precision. When you're hiking and you've got a high heartbeat, precision just went out the window, if you're with me. So all the loads I can work up are much more accurate than I can do while I'm hiking up a hill, stopping and taking a good rest and squeezing the trigger. Okay. So not that you can't build precision into your hunting loads. It's just not a requirement of that level. You're not developing hunting loads necessarily to the specs that a bench rest shooter's working up. You're just not. You can. It's not required. Therefore, I'm not going to do it. But now, if I develop a load for me to get where I was at, I'm really going to have to leave myself a trail, a very precise trail. So, for my neck sizing, and I'm not going to get into this right now, I have the bushing size that I'm using for my neck. As I progress into this, once my load is complete, this is what I'm going to do. I will have a session showing you how to figure your neck tension, how to get the right bushing, how to set the die up, and how to make sure you're seating the bullet correctly. Okay? So bear with me, okay? My primer pocket uniformer, I use my ready. Once I uniform a primer pocket, that's it. I'm not going to keep doing it. I don't want to round my primer pockets out. I need those very tight. This was a big Magnum cartridge. It's not a Magnum caliber, is it? It's a Magnum cartridge. It's terminology, okay? I have my trim length. Now my trim length, I have at 2.572. My trim lengths are 2.571 and a half. I'm about a half a thousandths off on these trim lengths, okay? And then my chamfer and deburr, when I'm chamfering and deburring, when I'm putting the beveled edge on the inside of the neck, I'm going 8 revolutions. That might sound kind of corny to you, but your starting pressures for your chronograph are really critical in getting your SD lower. Okay. Your standard deviation. So what I'm doing is every case gets the exact same treatment for everything. Okay. So when I seat the bullet, I'm as close to the same neck tension from one round to the other. Now, I have made a mistake, and I don't know if any of you have caught this. I was aware of it last night. I was. I want you to watch this. And these are the things that we kind of have to take into account. And as I grow in this, I'll become more familiar with it. Do you see? I loaded these 10, right? And I'm going to load the rest of these. And I'm going to go out today and chronograph these. But 10 of them were loaded last night. You think about that. A case neck has neck tension. When you seat the bullet, immediately all cartridge cases in the entire world begin losing neck tension. Every one of them. There has never been one cartridge case in the world from any factory that hasn't had a bullet seated into it that didn't lose neck tension over time. It's just that they don't lose so much that the bullet falls out, but they lessen. So ideally for me, if I would have went ahead and finished all these last night at the same time, then they would have all relaxed the same. I'm liable to see a slight difference in these. But I knew I was doing a live stream. I knew it was taking time. So that's okay. And that should be really interesting because I've marked on this paper where I stopped. And when I go from there on my chronograph, I'm going to be looking for a slight change somewhere. Okay. I'm going to see what that difference is. So I can adjust for that on a logical level. Okay. What do I mean by this? Some competitive shooters, they will literally load their cases in X amount of time before they shoot. Some guys will tell you, I do it 4 hours before I shoot, and no sooner. Whatever they in their mind come up with. But and I've talked to guys that say, if you load it right then and shoot it, and you chronograph them, then you do the same thing and let those sit for an extended period of time, it'll be different because the neck tension changed. So now when we're competing, now it's different. So right now I'm developing my loads. Once I get it really fine, and now I'm chasing my SDs, my standard deviations, now what I'm going to do is if I know I'm going shooting that day, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to have all the cases prepped. I'll have them all prepped, all pretty, all covered with towels. And then I'll come out here like 4 in the morning and I'll sit there and I'll start charging and get them all seated, and I'll be going for that range. That's where I'm going. Because you got the best neck tension, okay? And your annealing is going to play into that, okay? So I hope that now I am measuring run out. I'm not going to get into that right yet. I'm not. I don't want to. As I continue into this, I'll get more and more into my run out. And what I'd like to do with run out is kind of talk about what causes it, you know, and I got some really good stuff with that. So any questions on any of this? Now I'm going to warm my my Lyman Gen 6 up. And so if you guys don't mind, I'm going to step into the house, and this is cold. I'm going to go rewarm it, and I'm going to come out, and I'm going to pull that up, and I'm just going to start finishing charging and seating the bullets. And I should get them all done. If not, if Miss Highboy's got breakfast going and I don't have all the bullets seated, then I'll end this and have breakfast and come out and finish them. Just a slow process. But what do you say if you give me about 1 minute? I will be right back and we'll get rolling. And the Lyman Gen 6 should be, actually, it's ready. The instructions say it needs 3 minutes, but a lot of times I turn this on and it's all ready. It's an amazing powder system. Okay, so I'll be right back. All right. I put some Italian sweet cream in this. Oh, I love that. It's piping hot. It's so hot. It's scalding hot. I love that. All right. Come on up. Let's have fun. I'm going to look at some comments real quick as I'm getting ready to roll with this. That's a good comment there, Cold Front. I really appreciate that. So, Cold Front, are you saying instead of 2/10 of a grain increments, are you saying 1/10? Oh, you're talking about the bullet jump. Okay, okay. You're saying, Highboy, you may find that your chasing SDs will be affected by the proper amount of bullet jump that's optimized for your barrel. Also, weighing your charges to 0.01 grains may have too much of a variance. I guess I'm not tracking. I'm not tracking. I'm sure what you're saying is super logical. If I'm having to read into this, I think what I'm seeing is a 1/10 of a grain may not pinpoint. I might be chasing my tail. I'm doing 2/10 for now. I'll probably play with what tenth of a grain jumps. Now, as far as where my bullet is off the lands, I'm keeping that a hush for right now. The reason I'm keeping it for a hush right now is I've talked with other guys, and too many guys start fighting over how far off the lands you should be. So for right now, I'm not going to bring that into play. That's I'm kind of keeping under wraps because all of a sudden all the know-it-alls come out of the woodwork and they just start, getting opinionated. Well, that's too much or that's not enough. And so for right now, I'm just kind of showing the basics of what I'm doing. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to zero it. There's another thing too here is I don't know if I'm going to go off the lands because I want to be able to run my magazine. That's kind of something right now. Everything I'm running, I can run through my magazine. Um, I don't know if I want to do it any other way. I don't know. I've been going back and forth. What Cold Front? What's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on that? Do you run it off your magazine, or are you doing one at a time, sheer precision accuracy? Okay, so it's good stuff, though. I really appreciate your input. You're giving me stuff to chew on, brother. So just keep it coming. So your rounds do fit the magazine. I think I'm thinking right on that. I've had too many guys saying, "Oh no, 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 extend past the magazine." No, no. Okay, so I want to ask Colt. I got a question for Cold Front. Okay, how am I doing? I want to know. This is not easy because I've never done it, but yet I'm sharing it. Right? It's kind of like um, it's like if someone asked me to teach a physics class, I'm really not prepared. So I'm just curious. Okay, it's been our experience that you can normally load to a correct overall length that will fit the magazine and still have proper bullet jump for your barrel. And how far is that? What would you call proper bullet jump? Okay, well, he's doing that. Okay, here we go. Oops. I know it will vary, but there's also averages, at least in my mind. Give me guys just a second. I'm going to verify this first load. Hang on. Perfect. So I always run over and double check these on my Dillon D Terminator, and my Dillon D Terminator is always 1/10 higher than this scale. Okay, I'm going to mark something here so I know where I'm at. All right, there we go. So cold front saying bullet jump will depend on the cartridge using. They all vary. I have no experience with PRC. You guys are awesome. I got to tell you what. I'm going to tell you guys this. It's pretty cool because you guys do help me back, and I don't ever want this to be like my show, right? Okay, 84. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of making a note there. Okay, so cold front, well, anybody what distances do you guys shoot? Yes, um come on. Oh, error. Come on. Oh, come on. Yeah, I do know my jam point, James. I do. Oh, I messed up. That's okay. I'm reading the comments. Oh, you guys just see what I did? Double charge. Because I'm reading 300 yards readily. If I joined a different range, 600. If I drive 2 hours, 1,000. That's okay. Yeah, ELR is difficult here unless you go from mountain to mountain. I totally get that. Luckily, we have places, but there's so many people. That's the problem. Okay. Now I'm back on track. Dirty Truck says, I got a whistle pig hunting spot. The sky's the limit. That's awesome. Every shooter needs a place like that. Okay, so long live three. One, I was limited, but two, this was one I wanted because on the burn rate chart, this is right next to charcoal. That's why. That's why. If you know what I mean. Okay. We're looking pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to do a video shooting these. I might. I will do a video at some point in time of working with the chronograph to the best that I can. I'll try. I'll do my best. Looking good, guys. All right, so now to recap from last night. Normally when you're shooting precision, you're going to measure off a bullet ogive, but these Hornady A-tips, because of the aluminum tip, because of how they manufacture these. I don't have to load these. I can just measure these right off the tip. Okay. So so how this works is I showed last night how if you take a measurement of this bullet now off of your bullet comparator, then after you clean the oil off, there's going to be about a 3/1000th difference. And I'll just do it again. I'll just, for those that didn't get to see it, I'll just do it. So on this bullet, you're going to see that .010. Okay, do you see that? Okay. I'm going to do another one. That's like a 1/1000th off. It's right there. It's toggling from 9.5 to 1.010. It's really close. Okay, so now what happens is get this bag with these bullets. This is just the coolest thing. Every shooter should experience this. It's pretty cool. So now what you do, these bullets have been manufactured and untouched by hands. They've been through no cleaning process. There's still residual oil on them. These are sequentially manufactured. What that means is non-sequentially would be manufacturing bullets that are just going straight into the bucket or the bin. And then they take the bin from there and they package them however randomly they pull them out. These were all manufactured and placed in order of. Okay, so they're all sequential. All the bullets that I've purchased, that I've shot, are all the same lot number. These 3 bullets laying here are as near identical to these bullets in this lot as these bullets. They are so close to the same. So now what I'm going to do, I suppose the less bullets you put in this bag, the more thorough you can wipe them, but all you're doing is you're wiping off the oil from the bullets. That's all you're doing. I'm not abusing the bullets. I'm just wiping them down. That's all I'm doing. So now, if we take these and we repeat our measurement here we go. 1.007. .007. Now, these 3 bullets that were from the previous box to this one, same lot number. Okay. Now, because of the way that aluminum tip is designed through manufacturing, it's not required that I measure off of the ogive or ogive or 1.877. See? That one's my oddball out. Okay? So what we're looking at is bullets that we don't have to segregate out through a comparator. All right? But what I want to do is I want to work out of the bag because I have cleaned the oil off of these. I just think Hornady does an amazing job, super amazing job. So now I'm going to come over here. Okay, I'm going to try and not block your guys' view. There's a chance I could drop one of these because I'm trying to let you guys see all this. So if I do, just bear with me. Oh man, that's so nice. That is so sweet. I don't want to put both my arms in front of you, but I just have to do it. Or I'm going to drop one, and I don't want to drop one. This is really fun. I like this. You know, even like for my handguns, sometimes I just like to come out here, just get on a little single stage press and turn the radio on. You know, sometimes when I come out here and I just get on a little press, I sit there and reload. It takes me back to 1984 when I had just a little shed on a dirt floor. One side of the shed was a slant roof. So one side was about 6.5 feet high. The other side was probably, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches shorter. So on the side that was 6 or 8 inches shorter is where I had my bench and a chair so I could sit down. And behind me I had a bench where I could stand and, clean guns and work on them and what have you. But I remember it would rain, and it was so cool because it was just had an old, steel roof. And it would be so loud, but I could just open the door and the dirt never got wet. It was just kind of like my place in the world to get away from everything. And I kind of miss that old shed. I do. It had about 10 million spiders. It had mice. Nothing ever bugged me. I never bugged them. And my dog would come out there with me, and I used to be in the 4x4 clubs, and so if we'd have a 4x4 run, I'd be out there sometimes late at night loading my ammo, so while I was out off-road and I could stop and shoot. There were some of us that liked to shoot, and so I get my ammo all loaded up and be loading at night and everything ready, and come Saturday morning I'd get it loaded in my truck. Like before 6 in the morning I was ready to roll and go play all weekend. It was such good times. And so sometimes I come out here and I get on a press and I just start reloading and get my cup of coffee. And sometimes I'll come out here, open the garage when it's dark outside, and I just love that. I just love the slow pace and the feel and just everything about it. There ain't nothing wrong. There ain't nothing wrong with a single stage press, in my opinion. It's a really nice time to be had. Let's see. A single stage press. You guys tell me what you think of this. A single stage press, a cup of coffee, dark outside, raining, you've got the radio on, and your dog. What do you think of that? And I don't have a dog anymore. And yeah, miss my dog. And there's my last bullet. I did really good. Man. Woo-hoo. Okay, man, there we go. Good morning, America. Good morning, freedom. Good morning, patriots. Good morning, all you awesome reloaders. You guys are awesome. I just think you're great. You're all great. Every single one of you. Dirty truck. Perfection. I like that. Dirty truck. Let's see. Two terms that go together would be, two words. 4x4 in mud. What do you say? 4x4 and mud, does that go together? Yeah. Yeah. Colt 27 said 1927 says, I still use my old RCBS single stage more than my other presses. That's great. AR Patriot, brother, it's good to see you. Agreed, brother. Hey, well, Dirty Truck, you get stuck in that mud. You get stuck in the mud. I'm your 2 in the morning call, okay? And I'll be there with coffee. I haven't had those calls for. I was always like the guy who would get the call, and the funniest call I ever had. I mean, I lived. I didn't. I had a buddy, and we'd call, and we wouldn't say. I wouldn't say, "Hey, you want to go off road?" And I'd say, "Hey, want to go get the worst stuck?" He'd be like, "Dude, I'm there." I could call this guy if he wasn't working, he would go. Just period. Right? He's in the middle of building a fence. I call him. I say, "Hey, will you get stuck? I'm there. Hey, I'll help you do your fence tomorrow. Let's go get stuck. It's raining." Because it's raining, there's mud. I mean, when you're a real four-wheeler when your perfect window is during the rain. That's when you're an off-roader. And so one night I was at work. I worked for Pizza Hut, and I delivered pizza in my muddy four-wheel drive, and every pizza got there. And I would have regulars call me, and they'd see my mud truck, give me an extra tip, and I got to know them. And so one night the phone rang, but it wasn't someone ordering a pizza. It was someone in my family, and they said, "Oh my gosh, we got a Cadillac over a cliff. Could you come pull this guy up?" I said, "I'm working and I'm closing. I'll get out here about 1 o'clock." And they said, you can't come sooner? I said, "No, he shouldn't have drove his Cadillac where four-wheel drives go, but I'll come up there." And it was up on 8th Street, in Boise. And back then there was no houses. It was just all, you go shooting back there. So 1 o'clock came and I drove up there, and I kid you not, I kid you not, there was like dozens and dozens and dozens of people in four-wheel drives. And I got there, and I walk and I look, and there's a Cadillac, and it's about 50 yards down on this hill. And I looked at that and I said, "What's the problem?" He said, "What do you mean? He's over the edge. He went over." "Drive it down." "You can't drive that." I said, "Drive it down. Just drive it down." "Oh my gosh, you'll die." I said, "You won't die. That car's too low centered. Like four-wheel drive goes down steeper stuff than this." So I started walking down there. My mom was there. My dad was there. They were all playing CB tag late at night, and that guy thought he'd hide over a hill. Once he went over, he lost control and kept going. As I walked down there, my mom's like, "No, you're going to die. You're going to die." And people are like, "Get out of the car, get out of the car," and I'm like, "You guys need to go do some off-road." And I got in the car and I closed the door, and then I looked at the bottom, and another four-wheel drive pulled up, and he was coming to help out. And I just started the car and put it in drive and idled it down. Just do, 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 do. And I probably had to go 100 yards, and it was like, going over, little gopher holes and badger holes and whistle pig holes, all that, and I got to the bottom, and I parked. And the guy in the four-wheel drive's like, "You're telling me none of those people would drive that?" I said, "No, I guess it takes a off-roader to know that," And so that was like, and it was funny because everyone was like, "Duh, why didn't we do that like 3 hours ago?" So anyway, that was one of my goofy stories from way back when. All right, YB Normal's in the house. I'm going to go in. I'm going to have some breakfast, probably eggs, possibly bacon or ham, and There's going to be some Rhodes fresh baked rolls. You're all welcome to come over. I will feed you. Coffee's on. Okay. Get the dirty truck over here. Want everyone to type. You can. This is what I want you to type. I want you to type either a gun that you had that you really loved back when, or that four-wheel drive you used to drive. I'm just curious. Let me have it, and I'll call you off. Raining on the East Coast, says Elliot. All right. Okay, so Colt 1927 says an old Marlin 22 single shot. That's really awesome. JC Reloader, it's good to have you, brother, and always good to have you. The Jeep Laredo, very cool. Cold Front 79 says 99 Dodge Ram, still have it, very cool. Oh, dirty truck goes all the way with it. Marlin 3030, Chevy single cab 1 ton. Nice. Truck of steel. So I have my 79 F250, big old winch on the front. Think of my 79, think of Bigfoot, but I've only got 35.5-inch tires on it because my wife doesn't like climbing up high, but the 35.5 do really good. They're Goodyear Wranglers. They're really pretty aggressive. They got a nice winch on the front, and it's the two-tone brown. It's got a 400, and so hopefully here in the spring, I'll put a new transmission and clutch, and I will be driving it every day. Nomad 99 Range Rover. How cool is that? I love Range Rover. Super, super strong running gear. Tactical FUD GMC 4x4. That's awesome. Got to have a 4x4. You know, if it wasn't for trucks, we wouldn't have tailgates, you know. That's funny. Okay, so here we go. You guys, God bless you. Have a good day. I'll see if I can't. My camcorder doesn't really. When I make my pre-recorded videos, I have to have it plugged in because the batteries are burned out. I'll try and use my smartphone. I'll try and get something. AR and Patriot Nation says Toyota 4-wheel here. It's a pickup truck, extended cab, 4-cylinder, unfortunately. Nothing wrong with a 4-cylinder. It's a good little motor. It's a good motor, you know. So I will do my best to put a video together. So I'll try my hardest. So anyway, you guys are the best. God bless you. Stay strong in the world. Don't let the world beat you down. You beat the world back, but you don't beat the world back by fighting back. You beat the world by being the light and being strong and reaching down, picking others up, seeing others off the ground, seeing others to success. Don't worry about your success. Your success will come because your success is in you and you were born for success. We just didn't know that. We're all born with something in us, but sometimes when we let that 10-minute downer day get into our mind, we didn't realize that day could have been success. And so we get lost, we get down, we become upset, we go home, we scowl at the kids, we become in bad moods. But in all reality, we're to be strong and go home and lift our family up and love our family and raise our family higher than us. And at the end of the day, when we look back, we want to see no regrets. All we want to see is the success that we put in other people's laps. We don't worry about us. Success will come. Sleep, that will come. Don't worry about sleep. Success is obtained by those who are willing to go beyond those borders of discomfort to get what they want. Make yourself uncomfortable every day. Make yourself uncomfortable and become stronger every day. But be aware of two things. One, how you treat people, even if you don't agree with them. And two, be aware of the negative things that change your attitude. See, that's it. We can say, I'm going to be positive today, and then we have a bad day. It's because you have to learn to identify the enemy. The enemy wants to come and destroy you. He brings negativity to you. So when you can identify that negativity coming into your life, you now give it to the Lord, and you have the ability to do a 180 and go into the positive day that you were meant to have. It doesn't mean that bad things don't happen in our days. A lot of bad things happen every day, but it means that you're going to be better prepared to make it through those bad times. There you go. That's how I live my life every day. It doesn't mean I stumble, but it does mean that you viewers, you men out there, there's nothing wrong with other men coming up next to you. Iron sharpens iron. You're iron, I'm iron. I need you, you need me, and we need other men to tell us, don't stop. Don't let the media get you down. How do patriots come together? They stand by positive example, they hold their ground, and they vote for the correct people. That's how you do it. And we all do what? We stand for one flag. Guys and gals, that's the end of this live stream. God bless. We'll see you on the next. Have a good day, guys.